Yeah, my name's Paul Street, and I'm a historian and an author and a journalist in Chicago. And I am joining the call for united mass protest demanding the Trump and Pence regime out now, out immediately on September 5th of this year. When I say united mass protests, I mean all groups fighting on various social justice and democracy issues and environmental justice issues in this country. We are not going to achieve a meaningful victory over white supremacism as long as we have a white supremacist fascist president in the White House right now. We are not going to achieve lasting and meaningful victory over and against nativism as long as we have a fascist nativist presidential administration in the White House right now. We are not going to achieve meaningful victories, lasting, sustainable victories over and against sexism in this country as long as we have an explicitly sexist and fascist government in the White House right now. And we're not going to achieve environmental justice and overcome ecocide as long as we have an openly eco-fascistic government in the White House right now. So this regime must go. I am aware that there is an election coming about. I hear about it all the time on the television news and in the newspapers, and from everybody I talk to. We are, of course, obsessed with the quadrennial electoral extrava again this year, as every 4 years, and the election sucks up all the political energy in the country. I mean, it is my belief and the belief of many activists I know now that Donald Trump and his henchmen and his regime pose an existential fascist menace far too great, and a literal existential threat to life on Earth that is too great to contemplate this regime being allowed to stay in power until January 20th of next year. There's just too much damage that this regime can do between now and then. Look at we're at 150,000 deaths. We are projected to be at 300,000 or more deaths by Election Day. And speaking of Election Day, Donald Trump has made it abundantly clear that he is not going to accept the outcome of an election that does not go his way, and he's doing everything he can in his powers, and his powers to mess up this election are considerable. To delay the election, to mess up the election count. His party is going to work for racist and partisan voter suppression all across the country. In other words, we're going to have to take to the streets to force this regime out anyway. The sooner people can take to the streets, get good at taking to the streets, and learning how to confront this regime and to work with other organizations in a united front mass protest movement, the better we're going off to be. We may need a mass protest movement even to have an election, and we're going to need a mass protest movement in order to have a fair count for the election afterwards. And that's why I really strongly recommend that all of you listening to this reach out across your organizational silos and link up with other people in other organizations, and go to refusefascism.org and start making your plans now to be in the streets en masse in gigantic numbers on September 5th of this year.